And this whole part, oh my gosh, this part, like, watching your partner, the level of gratitude I have for her because she was courageous enough to sacrifice. What's up, y'all? Nick Pags here for another episode. I'm very stoked about this one because it's just you and me. And we're going to get deep and we're going to get intimate for a shorter episode today, and a really important one. Dads, guys, gentlemen, and maybe moms for this one too. This is one you're not going to want to miss. I've been experiencing some really intense worry, fear, panic, anxiety about these next chapters. We're about 2 months out from baby time. And what we talk about in this episode is the importance of trusting this process, and what you may be feeling that seems wrong is exactly maybe what you're meant to be feeling. It's meant to humble you. It's meant to mold you. So if you're feeling a little uneasy, this one's for you today. If you're feeling a little nervous, this one's for you today. If you're questioning if this is the right time and you're the right person and this is the right scenario, this one's for you today. I am so excited to dive into this today. Do not just skip through this one. Be present with it. Create presence with this episode, because I think you'll find that it opens a lot in your heart and in your mind today. Thanks for being with us, and let's dive in. Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Bia.
We don't have all the answers, but we're definitely in it. And if you're ready to lead your family by being more of yourself, not less, then you're in the right place.
We are so grateful to be in this with you.
This is Dad Easy. Let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Nick Pags back here again, another episode, and today I'm alone. It's just me in our very echoey and beautiful Airbnb in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I wanted to record an episode. I was not planning this, although I feel like when we're at our best, it's when we're listening kind of to the callings in our life. And I'm feeling very strongly to have this conversation for myself, number one, but for you, the listener, because a lot has been going on the last few weeks. We actually took a pause from recording. We've been doing a lot of traveling here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which is where Bia's family's from, my wife. And today I'm feeling incredibly deeply to talk about the feelings that come up when we are on the verge of becoming fathers. And it is, there's so much going on. And what sparked this was a conversation I was having with a really good friend. He's been a client at times in my life, but a really good friend of mine. And it just lit something up in my heart that I knew would be foolish not to share. And what I want to talk about today is what's authentically been going on with me, but more how it relates to maybe you in your journey of becoming a father, in the journey of you've just become a father, or, you know, the season of I've been in fatherhood, which I don't know yet. So I can't speak from experience on that. But what I do know is that we all have these moments where our body actually is demanding us to listen because it knows something that our mind doesn't. It's making me think about, by the way, I don't know the study. The HeartMath Institute has been doing, I think it's the HeartMath Institute, has been doing studies for many years about the power of the heart and its knowingness before the brain. And we give so much power, especially as dudes. My experience is we give so much power to the brain. And I want to keep this short and sweet today, so stay with me. We're going to be super locked in on this for the next, 15, 20 minutes, because then I have to go pick Bia up and, duty calls. But the power of our heart cannot be underestimated. And it's often that men don't utilize that gift. And I think fatherhood brings out a piece or a strength in our heart that most of us didn't even know we had access to. So maybe you're already on this journey and this is just going to resonate with you because you're like, yes, he's explaining what I'm feeling. And I'm already there. Or maybe you're not there yet. And I encourage you to keep your eyes, ears, and heart open to this as you listen, because it is just kind of shaking up my world right now. I'll start with this. The last few weeks, and I'll go back to the HeartMath Institute thing. The last few weeks I have been dealing with, I shouldn't say weeks, I should say a year and a half, to be quite honest, some really intense physical experiences. They've looked like anxiety. They've looked like panic attacks, most of which I've kept pretty private, as there was a lot of shame around it. There was embarrassment around it. My work with people is managing and controlling and strengthening and utilizing the power of our mind in our lives, in our daily lives. And here I am, to be quite honest, struggling with that at times. So I've kind of kept it to myself out of shame. There's the public part of it where, nervous about people seeing it. And then there's the other part of this that's just I'm stepping into something, fatherhood, with a partner who I believe is really kind of depending on me to show up and be a powerful emotional force as she goes through this incredibly challenging time with her body, with her heart, with growing a human being inside of her. We're 2 months away from this kid being here, which is crazy. And as I've experienced this, I've been trying to figure out what's going on from a very selfish perspective, right? It's a Nick thing, Nick dealing with this issue, feeling this worry, this anxiety. Maybe you felt something different, right? When we as men, we often feel a lot of pressure to support, to take care of, to provide, to show up, to look a certain way, to be a certain way. And I've definitely been experiencing that quite a lot lately. But this was happening before the fatherhood thing, and it started bringing up these questions. Does this have anything to do with the kid coming? And for a lot of us, when I look at this situation, this has been happening for a year and a half. My wife has not been pregnant for a year and a half, nor have we been planning to get pregnant in that time. This started our first legitimate, we're going to do this thing started a week before, 2 or 3 weeks before we found out we were pregnant. So it all happened very fast. And it wasn't like, I got pregnant and then I started having these symptoms. These symptoms were happening previously. This is where the HeartMath Institute thing comes in. And maybe I'll be able to link the study that I'm talking about. But I read this years ago that they were doing this test with people where they would see something pop up on a screen, and they would test people's heart and they would test people's mind. So they would track what was going on in both. And the long story short is they had some pictures that would pop up on the screen that were more alarming, pictures of like a gun or a dead body or a knife and, blood, those are all pretty gruesome, but things that are not so happy, that would make the body kind of respond with kind of the fight or flight response, right? And then they would show some pictures that are rainbows or bunnies or grass, nature, right? More peaceful, calm things. And what they would do is they would study what was going on in the brain and what was going on what would go on with the heart as well. And what I found interesting, and you will too, because it's mind-blowing actually, they were able to recognize that the heart knew before the brain what was coming up on that screen. Now, let me really explain how insane this is. The picture of a gun was going to pop up, and these were random, right? Nobody knew the way in which they would come, how many negative pictures there were versus positive pictures, right? What they found is that the heart would recognize that whatever picture was going to come up, like a scary picture or a peaceful picture, it would know 6 seconds on average before the picture actually came up. Think about that for a second. Right? Every 15 seconds, a picture would come up and then it would go away, and then there'd be a pause, and then the next picture would come up. On average, 6 seconds before the random picture came up, the heart would have a response properly to the picture, meaning it knew there was going to be like a rainbow, butterflies, bunny picture coming up, or it knew before it showed up that there was going to be a gun or a dead body or blood or something coming up. So the heart would respond before the brain would even see and recognize the thing came. Then the picture would come up and the brain would respond in fight or flight, right? Now, I don't know the intricacies of this. I don't remember all the details. It's worth looking up. But listen to that. Think of that for a second. Your heart knows before your brain ever sees anything. That is so news to me, or was when I read it. There was a part of me that intuitively kind of felt like that is what happens. But in my life, I was never taught that. I was always taught that like we see things, we analyze it, and then our body responds. What this is saying, what this is proving, is that the body responds before the thing even shows up, before the brain even has a chance to recognize, because the brain can't see something that's not there. The heart apparently can. Okay, so whoa, insane. Why am I bringing this up? Because this has been happening for a year and a half, and I keep saying it can't be anything to do with fatherhood or the baby or whatever, because these experiences, the tightness in the chest, if you know what I'm talking about, you ever experienced a panic attack, I have a whole new level of respect for this stuff. Like, it has beat me to my knees. It's crippling. It doesn't let me work at times. There are days when I literally can't do anything. People have said it's burnout. That's possible for sure, but it almost feels like burnout is a symptom of what's actually happening. Like, my heart knows it wants me to stop doing X, Y, and Z, stop doing this grind and hustle and whatever that I feel like I have to do because that's what culture tells me I have to do, right? So I had this conversation with a friend that really just brought all this to light in the last hour, and I felt really called to just share this with you, and it's pretty simple. He was telling me he's in his late 20s, and he had this situation where he was moving out of his apartment into a new one that he was getting. And so he had scheduled the whole thing so that he would leave one apartment and the next day go to the next one, and he'd be set in the new apartment. Makes sense, right? But what happened was the new apartment it wasn't ready. Something happened. So he had to wait 2 months, but he had already ended his contract with the previous apartment. So he had to find a place to stay. And what he ended up doing was staying with his dad. His dad is somebody who left when he was 14, so he doesn't have much of a relationship with his dad. Yet he ended up staying in his house, and he sent me this voice note. He asked me how the prep for fatherhood was going. I got super emotional sharing it with him. And he sent me back a message just saying how he was emotional on the message back, saying, he had ended up accidentally spending time with his dad for 2 months. And he said it was very simple. It was just sitting on the couch, drinking beers together, hanging out, couple nights, where he learned things and connected with him in a way that he had never connected with his dad before. And he was so fascinated. He was asking his dad questions. He said, "Dad, like, what I don't understand is how you did it. You had 3 kids by 30 years old, right? I'm 32, coming on 33 soon." He said, "How did you do it? Like, you didn't make a lot of money. You didn't have like a lot to give to us. How did you manage raising a family with 3 kids by the age of 30? Like, how is it even possible?" Thinking about the fact that I'm coming up on 30, I can't, like he was saying, like, I don't even have a girlfriend, let alone a family. And I feel all this stress. And he said, my dad looked at me and he said, "You will always find a way. When your child is involved, when it's your kid, you will always find a way, because there's a level of love that overcomes all your fears, that overcomes all your stress, that overcomes all of your worries and doubts." He said, "You will always find a way, and you can trust that." And it got me thinking about my situation lately. And I got to tell you, I was just like, I was thinking about all of this and how intense it feels and how much is going on and how much has to get done. We have nothing prepped for the baby. Shocker. We have, we're prepping as humans, but like, we don't have a baby room set up. We're in Brazil right now. We're going to be having the baby in the US. We don't have things organized and prepared. We haven't purchased this or that or the other thing. We don't know the gender of the baby. I don't know if any of you do or planning to do that, but we're really excited about not knowing and just finding out the day of. And that sentiment that no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to handle it, I'm going to figure it out, brought so much peace. Like, I felt this wave of peace come over me, and it made me think maybe this is something my heart knew was coming, and there's a deep lesson that I don't even fully understand yet, but my heart has put this whole scenario into my life. Like, this feels very spiritual. I'm learning so many lessons. This whole thing is humbling me at a level that is so far beyond me. I've made it so much about me as the dad, the father. What am I going to do? Me. You could probably already hear how much I'm in my head trying to figure out how to be the right person, figure out what's going on with my body, my heart, my mind, these experiences I'm having. And when I just trust that it's all going to work out, there's a level of surrender that I have to have, a level of trust that I have to have. It's like my brain can't get to that level. It's a space that only the heart can occupy. And I'm hoping, I can't even say this for sure yet because I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hoping that that's the truth. And it feels right. When I say it, that feels right. The other stuff doesn't feel so right. The like, you need to be prepared. You need to do, yes, of course, there's certain things like we need to have the kid coming into a safe home, and we need to have diapers and butt cream and bottles and Bia's boobs and things like that. But the simple fact is you're going to figure out the way. And we often are in this position as guys where we think we have to have everything mentally figured out before we get there. Right? If we figure it out first, then it's safer to go in. And I feel like this thing has just been like, this lesson just keeps coming up that like, there's some things you're not meant to be prepared for. There's some things you've got to step into before you're ready. And man, that's just all over my life. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you resonate with this. There's so many things that we hold back on. And by the way, there's so many people that will make us believe, not out of spite or out of negativity, but there's so many people who want us to believe that we need to be prepared for things. We got to logically figure it out, learn it. And isn't that the thing that stops you in the first place? Like even leading up to the decision to have a kid, we just kept pausing because we were trying to figure out when the right time is. Can you even figure out when there's a right time to have a kid? Can you even figure out what the right way to be a dad is before the dad part shows up? Like, I'm learning so much about being a father just from speaking to Bia's belly. And this whole part, oh my gosh, this part, like, watching your partner give you something you could never give yourself. This part has me so overwhelmed with gratitude and amazement. Like Bia has sacrificed. As a woman, you know, if you're in this, you're watching it, right? As a woman, they have to say goodbye to their body as they knew it. I'm not saying that they can't get in shape after, you know, having a baby, or they can't be the fittest they've ever been afterwards or take it. But Bia was this like vibrant, healthy, physical being. And she had to, whether it was conscious or not, and I'm interested to explore this with her, she had to lovingly make a choice to sacrifice her own body to now make it a joint body for the time being. Like she has another human inside of her that is taking from her to build itself, that she is giving. It's this magical exchange of love and life. And it's giving her life in ways that, like, dude, the obsession I have for her right now, I've always been obsessed with my wife. If you watch videos and content of us over the years, like I've always been crazy about this woman, but the level of obsession I have for her right now, the level of, amazement I have for this woman, because she's giving me things that I could never give myself. You know, when you make a decision to have a kid with somebody, like that woman is giving you as the man something you can't make on your own. I don't care how hard you try. You can't make your kid. She's got to do it. The level of gratitude I have for her because she was courageous enough to sacrifice so much of herself. Like she's giving her body away for the time being. She's going into the insanely powerful journey of birthing a human. Dude, I couldn't handle it. Like, I am so grateful for not being a woman because of how much courage you would have to do this thing. And like, this just happens every day, hundreds of thousands, maybe times a day. And we're just kind of accepting it as normal because it actually is. I am in complete awe of her. And that awe and gratitude like your homie holding it down and saying, I got this one, man. I got this one for you. I'll carry this thing for 9 months. I'll go through the craziness of what's going on. I'll go through crazy sciatica for a month and a half. By the way, I don't even know what I'm signing up for, and I'll do it because I love you and I love the vision of our family together enough. Do you see how powerful she is being? So, by the way, if at any point you're getting frustrated with her or there's struggle or whatever, you need to get yourself right and remember what's actually going on here is that she made a sacrifice far beyond what you'll ever be able to make as a man. And this isn't like who's sacrificing more. This is just recognition that she's doing something you could never do. You couldn't even make a choice to do. That's what she's doing. The level of commitment, of integrity, I feel I have to have going forward for our family, for us. Like once that child shows up, and even before, like what I'm stepping into now have been the last few weeks, the way I want to show up and be a provider, like what I'm stepping into, I'm just so grateful that I get a chance to try, just to try and even get one millionth of a commitment level that she has to this thing just by making a choice to sacrifice her own self to make another human. I hope you recognize that, dog. Like, I hope you recognize what your partner's doing for you, whether this thing was planned or not planned, whether you decided or it was a whoopsie or whatever, whether you consciously made the choice. Your partner is giving the ultimate sacrifice for this thing. And you got to recognize that, man, because it is so humbling. And what it does is it frees you to step into a whole nother level of courageous commitment for yourself. Like something that you're just going to be so proud of. And that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless you recognize, unless you recognize the commitment that she's making. So I just want to say to all the women, first of all, who are going out and making this courageous decision, thank you. From all of us dudes, thank you if you're listening. And to the guys, just to be straight with you, bro, we are, let us be humbled. Let us be humbled. Let us sit in gratitude. Let us accept the miracle that's happening in front of us. And yep, we did have something to do with it in those few seconds. We worked so hard to make this child, but the truth is, it's what she's doing. And now we get a chance. Now I get a chance to be that man that I've always wanted to be, that I felt like I couldn't even step into. And now I'm realizing I don't think I ever could have stepped into unless I took on a role of fatherhood. And by the way, I think there's probably space for this, even if it's not your biological kid. Like when you decide to take care, to be a father of somebody, right? Even if it's not your kid that you birthed, that you made, when you decide to be a father, there's something that comes over you. So I just want to remind us how amazing this gift is. And that there are going to be hard times. There are hard things that we have to face. But this right here, this is the most miraculous gift we could ever be given. And it's doing something inside of me. And now I'm continuing to work on this anxiety and this panic stuff that makes no sense. I can't figure out what specifically it's coming from, right? Working with doctors and psychologists and therapists and coaches and trying to figure out what this stuff is coming from. And I read something the other day that said, maybe it has nothing to do with figuring it out and everything to do with feeling it out. And maybe this isn't actually a problem. This stuff is all happening because it's forcing me to become something I can't be without this feeling happening. So let it be a peaceful thought in your heart and in your spirit that whatever anxiety or worry or stress you may be feeling, what if it's our direction? What if it's our guidance? What if it's humbling us to surrender to the miraculous that is so out of our control? And it's molding us into a man, into a provider, into a partner, into a father that we could never be without this child coming into our lives. And then I feel peace. So I hope you feel peace today too. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your ears today. And you're going to do this, and you're going to do great. And I'm proud of you already, man. I'm proud of you already, because I know what it is to be scared. I know what it is to be worried. I know what it is to feel like you're not going to be enough. I know what it is to feel like you're out of control and you don't know how to get back in control. This isn't for you to control anymore. This is for you to receive, and this is for you to step into. I'm proud of you. I see you. I'm with you. I'm for you. I love you, man. Thanks for watching.